Hi, welcome to video lecture series on CS22076 server-side programming. Today we are going to learn about two important types of loops in PHP, while loop and the do-while loop. Let us start with the loops available in PHP. First, what exactly are loops? Loops allow us to execute a block of code multiple times as long as a specific condition is true. In PHP, we have several types of loops: while, do while, for, and for each. Today, we will be focusing on just the first two, while and do while, since they are great starting points for understanding how control flow works in PHP. Let us start with the while loop. The syntax is pretty simple. We write while followed by a condition in parentheses and then the block of code in curly braces. PHP evaluates the condition before entering the loop body. If the condition is false right at the beginning, the loop is skipped entirely. To avoid infinite loops, we usually update a counter or variable inside the loop. Here is an example. We set $i to 1. Then, while $i is less than 6, we print the value of I and increment it by 1. The output will be 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. This is the classic structure for a counting loop. The condition does not have to be a counter. It could be the status of an operation or any condition that evaluates to either true or false. Now we will see about the break statement. The break statement in PHP is a control structure used to terminate the execution of the current loop or switch statement. When break is encountered, the program immediately exits the enclosing loop or switch block and continues execution at the statement immediately following the terminated structure. Now we will see the step-by-step execution of the program. $i equal to 1. It will initialize the variable $i with the value of 1. While $i less than 6, the loop will run as long as $i is less than 6. Inside the loop, if $i equal to 3, break. If $i is equal to 3, the break statement exits the loop immediately and no further code in the loop is executed. Echo $i. It will print the current value of $i. $i plus plus. It will increment the value of $i by 1. Once $i reaches 3, the loop is terminated before the printing 3. Therefore, the output will be 1, 2. Now, we will see about the continue statement. The continue statement in PHP is a control structure used within the looping construct to skip the remainder of the current iteration and proceed to the beginning of the next iteration. Let us see the usage of continue statement with a sample program. In the given program, $i equal to 0, it will initialize a variable $i and set its value to 0. This will serve as the loop counter. While $i less than 6 begins a while loop that runs as long as $i is less than 6. The loop body will execute repeatedly while this condition is true. $i plus plus. Increment the value of $i by 1 every time the loop runs. This ensures that the loop eventually stops and prevents infinite looping. If $i equal to 3, continue. Checks if $i is equal to 3. If true, the continue statement skips the rest of the code in the loop and moves to the next iteration. So, when $i is 3, echo $i is not executed. Echo $i prints the current value of $i to the output. This is skipped only when $i equal to 3 because of the continue statement. Therefore, the final output will be skipping 3, the numbers 1, 2, 4, 5, 6 will be printed. Now we see about the do-while loop. In PHP, do-while statement is a control structure used for executing a block of code repeatedly similar to a while loop. The key distinction of the do-while loop is that it guarantees the code block within the do part is executed at least once before the condition in the while part is evaluated. Next, we see an example program for do-while loop. Here is an example for do-while loop. In the given program, $i equal to 1 initializes a variable $i and set its value to 1. This is the starting point for the loop. Do begins a do-while loop which executes the block of code first, then checks the condition after. This guarantees the code runs at least once even if the condition is false. Echo $i prints the current value of $i. The output will be displayed each time the loop runs. $i++ increment the value of $i by 1 ensures the loop eventually ends and prevent infinite looping. While $i less than 6 ends the do block and check if $i is still less than 6. If true, it repeats the loop. If false, it stops the loop. Therefore, the final output will be 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 will be printed. Similarly, we can use break and continue statement inside the do while loop just like we used in the while loops. Let us summarize what we have learned in this video. In this video lecture, we learned about the syntax of while and do while loops, and then difference between the while loop and do while loops. Also, we learned about the usage of break and continue statement in the context of while and do while loops. Thank you.